Your mother is the first person to teach you about love and guidance, or at least that's what we think of when we think of mothers. They're the first person to nurture us and take care of our every need. But what happens if your mother happens to be a narcissist, or even very high on the narcissist scale? So today we're going to be talking about the differences between male and female narcissists and the impact that female narcissists have on their family. Mother's Day is just around the corner, and I was thinking, this would be a good time to talk about female narcissists because it really causes a huge effect on your life, your other relationships, your friendships, everything about your life. And, I have a dear friend whose mother is narcissistic, if not full on NPD. But, I've listened to her stories over the years talking about her mother. They don't have a very close relationship, but she still feels the need to take care of her mother, and do the things that a daughter is supposed to do. But the thing is, with a narcissist, you can't do the things that you're supposed to do, the things that normally to others seem fair and right about treating their elderly parents, because her mother won't allow it. She'll try by, helping her out financially or giving of her time, doing things that, normal children would help their parents with. But it never is met with thank you. It's always, okay, she did this for me. Now I'm going to add on one more thing. You paid for this, so now pay for this. Or you helped me with that, now help me with this huge thing that you really don't have time for, and you never offered to help with. Her mother plays the victim. She's like, poor me, my daughter doesn't care about me. If my friend ever puts up any type of boundary, her mother, will tell her, fine, I'll just go over here and be alone and nobody will take care of me and my life is awful. And, it just works on the guilt. So, my friend has a lovely heart. She wants to do the things, that normal people would do for their parents, like I said. And it just breaks my heart that her mother doesn't appreciate it. She doesn't really even welcome the help. It's always more of, what else can you do for me? In today's video, I'm going to be talking about the differences between male and female narcissists, how narcissistic mothers affect their families, and other narcissistic traits. So if this topic interests you, subscribe, like this video, send it to somebody else that can use this type of information, because as you know, if you're watching this, you probably have someone narcissistic in your life and you know the effects it has on you. We all have to support each other. And, I have some one-on-one coaching packages available. I also have a group program and I have free resources. So feel free to reach out, comment below, let me know how a female narcissist has affected your life, and let's share and help each other out. So the differences between male and female narcissists, studies have shown that there are more male narcissists than females, and the ratio is about 7.7% of males throughout the world are narcissistic, and about 4.8% of women. And the thing about that is that's just what these studies show. It's not necessarily the true numbers, because a lot of times narcissists slip by without being diagnosed because nobody wants to, they just don't reach out for the type of help from the people that could diagnose, because they really don't want to reflect on their own inner feelings and emotions. Also, men are more reluctant to speak about the abuse that they receive at the hands of female narcissists. So there may be even more out there that we just don't know about. The numbers may be more even. We just don't know because of these facts. So there are, according to the studies that we do have, there are a little bit of differences. So number one, female narcissists use more of that victimhood mentality, martyrdom, guilt to control others. For example, they might say, oh, I'm so sorry to ruin your special day. Maybe it's your birthday or you're having a graduation or wedding or whatever. I'm so sorry to ruin your special day. I'm just feeling so sad because my father died, or, I had a sickness. Remember that time I lost my dog? Whatever it is, it's something that happened probably years ago. There's no reason for them to bring it up on your special day, but they do. So they get attention for making people feel sorry for them. Or like I was telling you about my friend, they will guilt them into doing something to help them out, to drop everything and go do this thing that they want you to do. Number 2, female narcissists use their sexuality more. So, they can wear a low-cut shirt, they can wear a sexy dress. They coerce people into having sex a lot earlier in the relationship. And whenever they don't get what they want, they use sex to get their needs met. So this reminded me of a story of a neighbor that I had years ago. And, we were all standing outside with our husbands and we were talking and laughing. And her husband lifted her up on to his shoulders. And she yelled out, "Wait, stop, don't lift me up, be careful, I'm not wearing underwear." And I just remember thinking, like, well, why would you yell that out in front of all these men? Of course, the men are picturing what is under her skirt that she was wearing at the time. And that wasn't the only time she said something like that. She often would say, "I'm not wearing underwear, so, be careful of this or that." And I knew it was just a tactic to get attention. She also would tell stories about how she had a close encounter with some other neighbor in a sexual way, or a neighbor from their past neighborhood that they lived in. And, it was always the other person's fault. But watching her, I could see her flirt with the men on her street, and I knew that it was probably her fault, her leading on these men in the first place. Doesn't mean that they have to act on what she's doing, but she used it as a tactic to control others. So number 3, female narcissists are often more narcissistic about their looks than males are. So, a male narcissist, a lot of times they could be narcissistic about their looks, how they're dressed, what their hair looks like, whatever. But females are more, they're more careful about their hair, how much money they spend on their hair, what their face looks like. They might do more fillers, they might have more plastic surgery. They, buy all kinds of products, makeup, those kinds of things. The clothes they wear, they spend a lot of money on clothes to make sure they look immaculate. They get their nails done, just all the things. They spend so much money on that. And that also extends to their family members. So they might be telling their family members, to their daughter, "Don't wear that outfit, it looks trashy." Or to a son, they might say something like, "Don't eat that cookie, it's gonna make you get fat." And implying that if you gain any weight at all, you are not going to be worthy of love. Or if you wear something that you shouldn't wear, you're not worthy of love. Number 4, female narcissists use more passive-aggressive tactics or withholding love to get what they want from others. They may neglect their family members. They don't use so much the intimidation or the physical strength that a male narcissist might use. There are some that will use violence or aggression, but here's another place where male victims will not speak up because, you hear all kinds of things. Well, you're a blank, blank, blank if you let your woman hit you, or if you let your woman hurt you. So there may be more stories of female narcissists that are physically violent, but you don't hear about that as much. You hear more about the passive-aggressive tactics, the withholding love. So although there are differences with female and male narcissists, they do have a lot of the same characteristics. They may not exhibit them in the same way, but a lot of them are very similar. So that's why my list is pretty short. And even, you can poke holes in that list by saying, well, male narcissists do that too. Yes, that's true. But it seems that female narcissists do some of those things more often than the male narcissists. So just like male narcissists, female narcissists lack empathy, they're grandiose, they seek status and authority, and they use others to obtain admiration and agreement with whatever it is that they want. The damage that narcissistic mothers do to their children is they can be extremely detrimental to the health and emotional well-being of the children. They're usually highly critical, they're controlling. She uses her children to meet her emotional needs, and she may even be competitive with her child, or she may take out her dreams that she had as a child of, say, being famous or being a cheerleader, being an actress, being a singer, whatever her big dream was. She may force that dream onto her daughter and then, make her be the thing. It makes me think of the book by Jeanette McCurdy, and it's called I'm Glad My Mom Died. Jeanette McCurdy was on a popular, I believe it was Nickelodeon television show, iCarly, and her mother led her around to all these auditions for commercials and TV shows. And when Jeanette got the part on iCarly, her mother came to set with her every single day and interacted with everybody on set and sat on the set all day, every day. She had control over everything that Jeanette did because that was her dream, to be famous. Jeanette not necessarily wanted to be famous, and so she was having to live out this fantasy of her mother's in order to get love and acceptance. So I do recommend that book. It's a really good book. It's really fascinating. Again, this leads to the child being forced to act as the mother's caregiver. What can I do to make mom happy? What can I do to fix mom's sadness? How can I make her feel better? If I do this thing, act in this TV show, do this commercial, sing this song, get really high in academics and earn a scholarship, whatever it is, will it make my mother happy? Will I earn her love if I do these things? Their job becomes making sure that mom is okay before they can get their own needs met, if they even get their needs met. A lot of times they're having to compromise their needs or just shut them down and not get them met. The children can be neglected when it comes to clothing and food as well. I know of a client that her mother did not buy her clothes. She had to wear her older brother's clothes. So she never got new things of her own. They were all passed down from her brother. You can imagine that was very hard on a girl having to wear her older brother's hand-me-downs. These narcissistic mothers can't be bothered with grocery shopping or meal cooking, prepping. They don't buy the clothes. If there's a father figure in the picture, he will be tasked with completing all parenting duties. Although the narcissistic mother will be happy to get all the accolades or compliments that are, put out towards her children. Like if her children are very polite, oh, she loves to hear that. If her children are doing very well academically, oh, yes, thank you. And she'll take all the compliments, even though she has nothing to do with it. So, these mothers might not ever take their child to one single tennis lesson, but they'll certainly be there when the first place trophy goes out. Or, they might not ever help with any homework or anything academic, but when the scholarship is earned or the child gets into this prestigious college, you better bet she'll be there. She'll be the one celebrating, letting everybody tell her how wonderful her child is. And as you can imagine, children with narcissistic mothers struggle with self-esteem issues. They struggle with emotional regulation. they have relationship troubles throughout their life because they just haven't been taught what a loving, nurturing relationship is like. Hopefully there's somebody in their life that gives them that unconditional love, but you know, it's still, you need a mother's love. Well, I guess, you know, you don't there are other people in your life that can give you that nurturing, but it's just so heartbreaking and destructive when you have a mother figure that ignores your needs and doesn't help nurture you. These narcissistic mothers will pit their children against each other. So a lot of times you may not even have a good relationship with your sibling because, you know, they'll say things like, why can't you be like your other sibling? Why can't you do this like this sibling? And they may, you know, really put a lot of love and attention into that golden child, the one that is doing the things that they want them to do, and the one that is stuffing down all their feelings and, you know, giving the narcissistic mother whatever she wants. I don't know if this person is narcissistic, but I've heard stories that with Kim Kardashian and her mother, Kris Jenner, that Kris put so much time and effort into Kim and her career that the other siblings were kind of left out. And, you know, of course, as they began to get their own fame, they earned more of her attention and love. So that's a rumor. I don't know if that's true or not, but you can make your own deductions as far as that's concerned. Narcissistic mothers spend decades traumatizing and abusing the other parent. So a lot of times that other parent becomes a shell of themselves, and they don't help the children as much as they wish they could, or as much as they would if they were in a normal, healthy relationship. So if you're thinking possibly of leaving your narcissistic partner, this is one thing to really consider. Are you able to give your best to your child if you are struggling with this narcissistic partner? No, you can't. Like, I know from my situation that I was a shell of myself. Now that I am out of my toxic relationships, I'm starting to remember what I was like before those toxic relationships, who I was. And, you know, I laugh more, I share myself more, and I feel like I'm just a much better parent. Still probably have a ways to go, but I'm a much better parent than I was when I was in my toxic relationships. So anyways, if you want to heal from the narcissistic relationship with your mother, that's going to take knowledge of toxic and narcissistic personality traits. So if you can learn as much as you can about those traits, you can start to recognize the patterns, because believe me, they all follow a script. It's like the love bombing. They're going to, and this is something else I heard today, narcissistic mothers or parents in general don't have to do as much of the love bombing to get what they need from their children, because they're already stuck in this relationship. They don't have to earn your love, or not earn, I guess, more like trick you into being in relationship with them because you're forced to as the child until you become an adult. So I kind of lost my train of thought, but it's going to take knowledge of the patterns, the love bombing, the discard phase, then they hoover you back in, and it's a lot of ups and downs, lots of roller coasters. And once you start to notice that, oh, this is happening again, it's the same pattern that we always follow, then you can start to heal that part of yourself. And then, you know, it could take years of therapy, it could take coaching, it could take doing different exercises for the trauma parts, the somatic exercises, or EMDR, and there's some other ones that you can try. But one important thing is to limit or cut contact with your narcissistic mother. And you may feel like, or even be told by others, that you owe it to your mother to take care of her as she ages, or you should forgive her because she's your mother, you know. But if this adult person is harming you, you as an adult don't have to stick around and be abused or harmed. You can make that choice to put yourself first, take care of you first. Then if you want to do something to help this narcissistic mother, not because you have to, but because you're a good person and you want to, just because that's the kind of person you are, that's your choice. But you don't have to do anything. And like my friend, that her narcissistic mother is aging and she really needs help, but she makes it so difficult for my friend to help her, because no matter what she does, it's never right, it's never good enough, it's not the thing she asked for, she wants it done a different way, and so that makes it really hard to help. The only person you owe anything to is yourself. You owe it to yourself to protect your self-worth, your sanity, your security, and be like my friend. Set boundaries, break the cycle of abuse, protect yourself and your children. Surround yourself with loving, supportive people. Family can be the people that you choose to have in your life. So if you want support, reach out. I haven't had a narcissistic mother, thank goodness, but I have had lots of relationships with narcissistic people, and I can help you out. You don't have to do this alone. So schedule a one-on-one, or join my Facebook group if you want something free, and I will talk to you in the next video. Bye.